Hi guys, so welcome to another class. I hope you're all doing okay. I hope you're staying safe and staying sane. I'm going to make this class a little bit longer today, so hopefully 40-45 minutes. Yeah, if you've got any injuries, you know to look after yourself. Don't do anything if it doesn't feel right. You can always pause, you can always add extra bits in if you want to, if you want to do an extra set of anything, if you want to make the class a bit longer, so just bear that in mind as well. And yeah, look after your body. So starting with our feet hip distance apart, lengthening the spine towards the ceiling, you want to start to gently draw your belly button into your spine so that you slightly activate through your abdominal area. Just soften the shoulders, lengthen the neck, lengthen the spine. Just take a couple of big deep breaths at the top here to begin. Inhale, exhale. One more breath here. Inhale and exhale. This time we're going to start to roll down through the spine, so take a breath in at the top. On the breath out, look towards your belly button and then roll down one vertebra at a time. So you're going to come down as far as you can, then you're going to soften your knees, hang off your hips, and just feel that nice stretch through the back of the body here. Crown of the head reaches to the mat, your sitting bones reach towards the ceiling. Take a breath in here. On the breath out, spine reaches as you roll back up, one vertebra at a time, till you're back up to standing. Take a breath in. On the breath out, chin to chest, roll down through the spine. Come down as far as you can, knees soften, hang off the hips, have a little shake here through the arms and the head. And then take an inhale. As you exhale, slowly roll back up, one vertebra at a time, till you're back up to standing. So if you're not already, come to 3/4 of the way back on your mat. We're going to start by coming down into a quadruped position. So breath in. On the breath out, start to roll down through the spine. This time, bend the knees, find the mat, and just walk your hands out so that your hands are underneath your shoulders. So shoulder distance apart, knees are underneath your hips. So from here, think about your waist kind of wrapping in nice and tight. Draw your belly button in, but not so much that you start to arch through your lower back. You still want to have that nice neutral spine through your lower back area. From here, start by floating the right arm and the left leg. Now, if you need to here, you can always do just the arm or the leg, and then you're going to float the arm and leg up. So you want to make sure your right shoulder slides away from your ear and that your hips are square. So making sure that left hip doesn't lift, hips square off. We're going to pulse the arm and the leg here for 10, 9, keep the arm and leg long, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the arm and leg there. We've got another 10 here for 10. 9, 8, 7, 6. Connect those hamstrings and glutes. 3, 2, 1. Float the arm and leg down. Making sure here that you bring your hands back under your shoulders, knees back under your hips. And we're going to change sides. Left arm and right leg out to the end of the mat. Lift the arm and the leg up. The left shoulder slides away from the ear. Your right hip is square. 10 pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold the arm and leg here. Keep lengthening out through the crown of the head for 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Float the arm and leg back down. And again, just checking here that your knees come back underneath your hips, so hip distance apart. It's quite common to bring the knees in closer. Then when you have to lift again, you have to then shift the weight through your hips and you find you can't balance properly. So we're coming back to the right arm and the left leg again. We've just got one more set on each side. We're only going to pulse 10 times this time. Right arm and left leg out to the end of the mat. Lift the arm and the leg up. If you want an extra challenge here, you're going to tuck your right toes underneath. No. Hold that here. And then 10 pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Float the arm and leg down. Let me just see. Yeah, so, and then we're just going to do the other side. One set of 10 on each side. Lift the arm and the leg. We'll do the extra challenge just after this. We've got 10 here. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Float the arm and leg down. Just sit back into a child's pose if you need to. Have a quick stretch here. And then come back onto the hands and knees. Tuck your toes underneath. Start to put a little bit of pressure into the balls of the feet. Now if you need to here, just send one leg at a time out behind you without having your knees lifted off the mat. So pressure into the balls of the feet and then send your right leg out behind you. Bring the knee back in. Send your left leg out behind you. Bring the knee back in. So keeping those knees hovering just off the mat. You can just hold it here without coming into single. You can also just keep the knees down, send one leg away at a time. Reach that left leg away. We've got one more on each side. Send that right leg behind, bring it back in, left leg behind, bring it back in, lower the knees, and then just sitting back into that child's pose again. Roll out through the wrists a few times in each direction. And a little stretch here. Walk your hands to the left as far as you can. Feeling the stretch down the right side of the body. And then come back to the center, all the way around to the right. As far as you can now, getting the stretch down the left side of the body. Good. Come back to the center. From here, swing your legs through and then lie yourself down on your mat. So you've got your feet hip distance apart. Your knees are bent towards the ceiling. Arms are just down by your side for now. We're just going to do a couple of bridges here just to move through the spine. So start with the back of that pelvis melting into the mat, your small arch through your lower back, shoulders and ribs connected. Take an inhale. As you exhale, start by tilting the pelvis towards you and then peeling the spine up off the mat, one vertebra at a time, till you're up to just between your shoulder blades. Straight line from the knees to the shoulders. Feel that hamstring glute connection. Take an inhale. On your exhale, you want to try and lengthen your spine back down to the mat, one vertebra at a time. Good. Take an inhale at the bottom. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up off the mat, one vertebra at a time. Hips press up, belly draws in. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen your spine back down. Good. One more. Inhale. Exhale, tilt the pelvis, peel the spine up. Good. This time we're going to hold it up here. Keep those hips pressing up. Should have even weight through the balls and heels of both feet. Then you're going to just drop your pelvis halfway down to the mat and then press the hips back up towards the ceiling. Drop the pelvis halfway down and then press the hips back up. Pelvis drops, press back up, lower the hips, press back up. So make sure you're keeping that hip distance between your knees. So try not to let the knees flare out to the side. Pelvis drops. Press the hips back up. Really open the hips up towards the ceiling as you press up. We've got 3 more. Press the hips up. Lower halfway. Last 2. And last one. Hold up here. And then lengthen your spine back down to the mat. 1 vertebra at a time. Hug your knees into your chest just to get a quick stretch through your glutes here. And then bring your feet back down to the mat. From here, you're going to interlace your hands at the base of your skull. Just bring your elbows into your peripheral vision. Float your right leg into a tabletop position and flex your foot. So I want you to pull your toes back towards your shin. Your leg is in tabletop, so knee directly over hip, shin parallel to the floor. And then we're going to add the upper body in as well, so work through the abdominals here also. So you're going to curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Make sure as you curl up that your belly button draws in towards your spine. Soften the shoulders. And then from here you're going to press that right heel away from you and then bend the knee back in. Press the heel away as if there's a wall, as if you're trying to press that heel into the wall there. Press away. Bend back in. Keep that height in your spine. If you want the extra challenge here, you can have your left leg floated into tabletop as well. Otherwise, just keep that left foot down. So you're pressing that foot away, bending back in. You've got 4 more. Bend in. Last 3. Keep that stability through your center. 2. And last one, lower the head, neck and shoulders down, float your legs one at a time back down to the mat. So we're going to go with the other side now. Your left leg now comes up into tabletop. You're flexing your foot. Toes pull back towards your nose. Belly button draws into the spine as you now curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Shoulders away from ears. Press that heel away from you. Bend the knee back in. Press away and bend back in. So you want to find stability through your center. Nothing else is shifting here except for your leg. Bend it back in. Keep that belly engaged. Keep your waist wrapping in nice and tight. Float your right leg up for that extra challenge. Otherwise, keep that right foot down to the mat. Press that left leg away. You've got 4 more. 4. Bend in. Last 3. 2 more. And last one. Float the head, neck and shoulders down. Lower the legs one at a time back down to the mat. So this time we're going to bring the knees in towards the chest. A similar movement through the legs, but we're going to be holding one knee into the chest. So the knee that's not pressing away is going to be coming in a little closer to the chest. So one hand on each knee. Keep your arms strong. So gently press the knees into the hands back into the knees. Elbows are wide. Your belly draws in now as you curl up again through the head, neck and shoulders. If you need to here, you can rest the head back down to the mat. Then from here, reach your left leg away. Press that heel away from you as you hug that right knee into the chest. And then change sides. Press the right heel away, hug the left knee in. And change. So keep that movement now alternating. Keep thinking about that stability through your center. That belly button stays drawing in. It's very easy here to let go of your abdominals as you switch legs. Keep that focused on staying engaged. You can here as well just keep your feet on the mat and just slide one leg away. You've got 2 more on each side. Good, last one. And then knees hug in and lower the head, neck and shoulders down. So the last thing we're going to do here, similar movement again through the legs, but this time we're going to rotate through the spine. So keep your knees drawing in towards your chest, hands interlaced at the base of the skull, curling up through the head, neck and shoulders, belly draws in. Send your left leg away. This time your left shoulder comes across to your right thigh, and then you change sides. So we're going to alternate sides here. We're keeping the foot flexed today, so toes stay pulling back, pressing the heel away. And make sure that you keep the back of your pelvis melted into the mat. So rather than shifting through the hips, we are moving through the spine to get that shoulder towards the thigh. Good, we've got 2 more on each side. Last one each side. And then knees into the chest and lower your head, neck and shoulders down. Good. So another movement now through our legs. This one though is keeping the knees straight. We're moving more through the hips for this one. We're going to add the upper body in again. However, if you prefer to, you can keep your head, neck and shoulders down. So left foot on the mat, right leg extends to the ceiling. We're going to again work with that flexed foot today. So your heel presses up in towards the ceiling. Feel that bit of a stretch here through your hamstring. We're adding the upper body in, so curling up through the head, neck and shoulders. Now you can support the head if you prefer, or you can have your arms by your side, keeping that foot flexed, keeping the belly engaged. We're going to lower the leg down and lift it back up. Lower and lift and lift. So keeping that foot flexed, keeping the stability through your center. For the extra challenge, you can have your left leg in tabletop. We've got 3 more here for 3, 2, and last one. Bend the knees into the chest, lower the head, neck and shoulders down. So, other side. Left foot down, right foot down, left leg in. Left leg long, pressing that heel up into the ceiling. So again, flexed foot, toes pull back towards your shin. You can support your head or you can have your arms by your side. We're going to curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Keep the stability through the center now as we lower that leg down and lift it back up. Lower and lift, lower, lift, lower, lift. Good. For that extra challenge here, you float your right leg into tabletop. Lower and lift. Good. We've got 3 more here. 3, 2, and last one. Bend the knees into the chest. Lower the head, neck and shoulders down. So really draw the knees in, get that release into your abdominals. Bring your feet back down to the mat. This time bring your feet together. Bring your arms out wide. We're just going to do a little bit of a stretch here. Drop your knees down to the right. Your feet end up stacked on top of each other. So just getting that stretch down the side of the waist, maybe down the hips. Now squeeze the thighs together to draw the knees back up through the center and then drop the knees down to the left. So now you're getting that stretch down the right side of the body. Good. Squeeze the thighs together, come back up through the center. Let's just do 1 more to each side. Drop the knees down to the right. And then back up to the center. And then last one now, knees down to the left. Good. And back up to the center. So from here you're going to roll over onto your stomach. So we're going to do a little bit of work here into extension. So you're going to start with your arms out in front. So arms are long, forehead resting down on the mat. And just kind of bring the arms in a couple of inches. So you've got a slight bend at the elbows and you can feel space between your ears and your shoulders. From here, start to lengthen out through the crown of the head. Imagine a marble at the end of your nose. You're going to push that marble forward, then you're going to lift up. Start to press into your forearms. And then think about the front of the spine melting back down to the mat as you lower yourself back down. And again, push that marble away. Lift the head, lift the chest. Keep that belly drawing up away from the mat. And then lower yourself back down. Good. Lengthen, lift, press the forearms into the mat. Remember to keep that orange between the chin and the chest, trying not to look up towards the ceiling. You're looking just in front of you on the mat, and then lower back down. If you want to take this a little further, your arms can lift with the head and the chest. Inhale, exhale, lift the upper body, and lower back down. Exhale, lift, and lower. Last two, lift up, and lower. Last one, lift that upper body, and lower back down. Just bring the hands back underneath the forehead, so hands are stacked, forehead rests down. You're now going to lift your right leg up off the mat. Reach that leg behind you. See if you can touch the wall behind you with that leg. You want to keep the leg long, keep it straight. Connect your hamstrings and glutes on the right side. Now we're going to press that leg up towards the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg down. Your left leg now lifts, so reach it behind you. Lift that leg up off the mat. Press it towards the ceiling. Hamstrings and glutes connect. Keep reaching that leg behind you for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg down. Coming back, one more on each side. Lift that right leg. Press it to the ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg down. Last one, lift that left leg. Reach it behind you for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower that leg down. So we're going to lift the upper and lower parts of the body together now. If you prefer to here, just lift your upper body or just lift your lower body. Keep it single leg if you need to. Remember to just work with your own body. From here, arms are out. You can keep your hands stacked underneath your forehead if you prefer. And then from here, take an inhale, exhale, lift up through both ends of the body. Now keep your belly button tied up into your spine and then lower everything down. Lift. So like I mentioned, you can keep those forearms down and keep pressing into the mat, and lower back down. We've got 4 more. Lifting and lower. Lengthen out through the crown of the head. So it's a lot about length here rather than height. And lower. Last 2, lift up and lower back down. Last one, lift both ends of the body or whatever's working for you. Well done. Lower back down. From here, come up onto your knees and just sit yourself back into a child's pose again, rounding your spine. And then you're going to come to lying on your side. So you've got a couple of options here. You can do this first exercise just lying down on your side, head resting down, a slight lift through your waist. You can actually come up onto your elbow and still have that lift through the waist, but think more about the shoulder stability here. And then we'll do the exercise, your last option. So the more advanced option here is to bend your bottom knee. Make sure your elbow is directly underneath your shoulder. Make sure that your elbow is also in line with your bottom knee. Your bottom knee is bent. Then from here, for the advanced option, you're now going to press your hips forward. Lift your hips up off the mat. So for everyone now, wherever you're at, you may still be lying down. We're all going to lift our top leg. Engage through your center, no matter which position you're working from. And we're just going to do small circles, either direction, keeping that waist lifting away from the mat. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we're going to reverse the circle. So coming back in the other direction. You should be in a nice straight line. Imagine you're being sandwiched between 2 panes of glass. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the hips. Everyone now just lower yourself back down to the mat. Bend your knees in. And you're going to have your feet roughly in line with your sit bones. You're going to keep your feet together here. Head just resting down. Your hips are stacked on top of each other. We're also going to keep those hips stacked, and we're not going to move through the hips or the pelvis at all. It's just going to be the thigh bone in the hip joint. So keep the feet together, send your top knee towards the ceiling and lower back down. So lift that knee and lower. So again, making sure you don't use that hip to get that knee and that leg higher. Keep the hips still, just work within your own range. Knee lifts and lowers, lift. Good, so once you've done a few of these, you should start to feel it working into your glutes. Good, for 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good, lower that leg, give the hips and the glutes a little bit of a massage if they need it. And then send your legs out long. So legs are now in line with the rest of the body. Waist slightly lifting away from the mat. Good, we're going to lift both of the legs up off the mat. Engage through your center, and then we're going to scissor one leg forward and one leg back. Trying to keep that stability. You want to come about the same distance from the center in either direction. Your other option here is just to keep your legs together and then lift and lower the legs. Otherwise, scissoring the legs once you're up here. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the legs back together and lower both of those legs down. So a little massage out through your waist, through your hips, your glutes here. And then we're going to come over onto the other side. So roll yourself over or swing yourself around. So the first exercise here, again, you've got those options. So you can either be lying down, legs long, you will lift that leg, you will circle it around. You can have your elbow underneath your shoulder. Stay lifting with your waist away from your mat and lifting out of that shoulder. So try, if you're in this position here, we don't want to sink into that shoulder, stay lifted. The last option is to bend that bottom knee, make sure your knee and your elbow are in line. So same distance from the edge of the mat. And then we press the hips forward, press the hips up. So holding this position here, being sandwiched between two panes of glass. Then we're going to lift that top leg a few inches off the bottom one. So for everyone now, that top leg lifts. For everyone, you lift your waist excuse me, away from the mat. And then we've got little circles. So small circles here. Keep lengthening out through the crown of the head. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then reverse the circles and come back the other way. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower those hips down, and then everyone now coming down to lying on your side. Your knees are bent in, your feet are roughly in line with your sit bones. Your sitting bones are wide. You should feel as though you're trying to stick your bum out behind you. Lift your waist off the mat. And then from here, keep your feet together. Just lift that top knee to the ceiling and lower back down. So remember, for this one, we're not moving through the hips and the pelvis. Just that thigh bone rotates around in your hip joint. So lift that knee and lower, lift and lower. So keeping a little bit of stability through your center, draw your belly button in. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and last one. Good. Massage out through your hips here. Send both of your legs long. Super glue the legs together so your legs are in line with the rest of your body. And then you're going to lift both of your legs up off the mat. And then we're going to scissor the legs. So if you needed to here, you can just keep the legs together and just lift and lower the legs. Otherwise, we're scissoring the legs, keeping the legs lifted so we're getting that work through the side of the waist as well as through the glutes and the hips. Good. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the legs back together. Lower them down. Good. Just give the hips a little bit of a massage again. Good. And then from here we're going to come onto our back again. So lying on your back. Arms are down by your side. We're going to come into our 100. So you have 3 options with your legs here. You can either leave your feet on the mat, you can have your legs into a tabletop position, or you can have your legs extended. So your choice. Have your legs wherever suits your body, as long as you can keep your belly engaged. You can even have your legs slightly lowered. Arms are by your side. You're then going to curl up through the head, neck and shoulders. Draw the belly in. And then little pumps of the arms. Inhale for 5 pumps. Exhale for 5. Inhale. Exhale. So keep the arms nice and strong. Keep that belly engaged. Inhale for 5 pumps. Exhale for 5. Good. Keep the legs super glued together, particularly if they are in tabletop or legs long. If your feet are on the mat, your legs are still hip distance apart. Good. You've got 2 more breaths. Inhale. Exhale. Last breath. Inhale. Exhale. Hug the knees into the chest and lower the head, neck and shoulders down. Good. Bringing your feet back down to the mat. Feet together. Then from here, without moving through the pelvis, just drop your right knee down or open up through that right leg, and then imagine magnets on the inside of the leg to draw that knee back up, alternating sides. Left leg drops and lifts back up. So just a few more to each side. And lift, lower that leg and lift. So trying not to move the pelvis, trying not to shift the weight. And just one more to each side. Good. Hug the knees into the chest. Hands behind the thighs. Roll yourself up to a seated position. And we're going to do our roll-ups. Now, if you need to here, you can use a band or even a towel maybe around your feet, just to help get you up and down. Otherwise, we're going to have the legs out long, arms out in front, starting with a nice long spine, reaching the crown of the head to the ceiling. Take an inhale at the top. On your exhale, you start to round the spine now. So draw that belly in. Find that round through your spine and then roll down onto the mat, 1 vertebra at a time, and then reverse and roll yourself back up. Nice and tall with the spine at the top, restack, inhale, exhale, round the spine. And then reverse. And roll yourself. Once your shoulders are over your hips, you restack your spine, lengthen to the ceiling. So continue, a few more of these, rolling down with control, as much control as you can. And then look towards the belly button as you roll yourself back up. So your gaze is important here. Keep that gaze towards the belly button. That will keep your spine rounded, and your body will go the position of your gaze. Let's do 3 more. Rolling down. And roll yourself back up. Last 2. And roll back up. Good. Last one now, nice and tall. Take a breath in, breath out, rolling down. And roll yourself back up. Good. From here, come back over onto your hands and knees. Hands are underneath your shoulders. Engage through your center. Send your right foot out behind you. Put a little bit of pressure into the ball of that foot. And then you're going to send your left leg out to meet your right. So wrapping your waist in nice and tight. Crown of the head reaches forward, heels reach behind. Holding that plank position here. If you need to, drop your knees down to the mat at any point. Otherwise, hold that here. Your other option here would be to come down onto your elbows. If your wrists are a bit sore, come down onto your elbows. Hold that here for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop the knees, sit back into a child's pose, have a quick stretch. And then come back onto the hands and knees. So we're going to do one more here, hands under shoulders. Send the right leg out behind. A little bit of pressure into the ball of that right foot. Left leg comes out to meet your right. Straight line. And again, remember, drop the knees if you need to. If you want the challenge, you're going to float your right leg up. Keep it long and lower it back down. Float your left leg up and lower back down. Right leg lifts and lowers. Left lifts and lowers, so keep that stability. Last one each side. And left lifts, lowers back down, knees come down. Again, sit back into that child's pose. Come on to your hands and knees, just come through a couple of cat and cow stretches here. So head and tailbone up, press the belly button down. Come through the center, head and tailbone down as you arch your spine up to the ceiling. Through the center, head and tailbone up. And last one, hollowing out your belly. Good, come back to the center, lift your right arm, thread it underneath your torso. And just get a nice twist and some rotation in your spine here. For a little bit of extra, just press the back of the right hand into the mat or the floor. And come back up to the center. Left arm lifts, threads underneath. A little bit of pressure into the back of that left hand if you want that resistance. Back up to the center. One more each side. Right arm lifts, threads underneath. And back up to the center, left arm lifts, threads. And back up to the center. From here, tuck your toes underneath, walk your hands in towards your knees. Come up onto the balls of the feet. And then send your heels down to the mat and slowly roll yourself all the way back up to standing. So coming back to the center of your mat, we're just going to finish the same way we started. So think back to how your body felt at the beginning of the class. We're going to do a couple of roll downs. Take a breath in at the top. On the breath out, chin to chest, roll down, one vertebra at a time. Come down as far as you can. Soften your knees. Check you've still got an even weight through the balls and heels of the feet. Have a little shake through the arms and the head. Hang off your hips, knees are soft. Inhale. Exhale, your belly draws in as you roll back up. One vertebra at a time. Till you're back up to standing. One more here. Inhale. Exhale, chin to chest. Roll down through the spine. Hang off the hips. Add in any other stretches here if there's anything else you want to do or any other stretches you feel your body needs. Crown of the head reaches to the mat as your sitting bones reach to the ceiling. Have a little wiggle or a shake. Take a breath in. On the breath out, roll back up, one vertebra at a time. Till you're back up to standing, just a couple of big shoulder rolls in each direction. Well done, guys. Give yourself a round of applause. Thank you very much. Stay safe, everyone, and we will see you all very soon.